What's going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix and welcome to my Vardorvis guide. Vardorvis is currently one of the most profitable solo bosses in the game, reaching upwards of 10 mil an hour. In this video, I'll show you how to get your first Vardorvis kill, and if you want to skip to any section of this video, there are detailed timestamps down in the description. To be able to fight Vardorvis, you need to be completing or have completed the Desert Treasure 2 quest. The boss is located in the Stranglewood area, and during the quest, the best way to access him is to use the fairy ring code BLS, then take the boat to Stranglewood. Then you make your way around the island to where he stands, and using the fairy ring is a great way to get there even after the quest. But after quest completion, and after getting the strangled tablet drop from Vardorvis, the fastest way there is with the Ring of Shadows teleport. Let's go through Vardorvis's mechanics. He uses slash melee attacks, and they are capable of hitting through protection prayers. There are 5 key mechanics you need to watch out for. Firstly is the entangle attack, where Vardorvis hits the ground. Then a number of red shapes appear on the screen, and to be safe from this attack, you need to click on each shape quickly, otherwise you take a lot of damage. The second mechanic is the flying axes, where axes spawn and they move across the room to the opposite end. If you don't avoid these axes, you not only take damage, but you also bleed. To avoid the axes, you can run to an area of the room where the axe won't go, but you do have to be quick. Otherwise, the most effective way to avoid them is to run between these tiles as the axes move, and this dodges the damage of the axes. You start running from tile to tile as the axe's true tile is next to you. The next attack is the green projectile, and for this, you need to use Protect from Ranged very quickly. If you don't swap prayers, it disables your protection prayers, leading to full damage from Vardorvis. And this attack also drains 10 prayer points. There's also the vine attack, where Vardorvis moves and a vine appears, and you have to move out of the way to avoid it, otherwise you take damage and it heals Vardorvis. And the final mechanic at Vardorvis happens when he reaches below 1/3 of his health, and during this time, Vardorvis enters an enraged phase, and each of the mechanics start to happen more often, and there's more axes that spawn during this phase and more red shapes to click. So those were the mechanics of Vardorvis, but now I want to show some useful RuneLite plugins for the fight, although these are all optional. Firstly is the Ground Markers plugin, where I've put the useful ground markers in the description below. This is great for moving between the axe's special attack. Another useful RuneLite plugin is the Better NPC Highlight plugin, which shows the true tile of the axe's special attack. In the true tile section, you can add these 2 numbers, and you can also configure the color. The DT2 Boss Utilities plugin can be used to hide the pillars around the arena for less screen clutter. The Vardorvis Projectiles plugin lets you change the visual appearance of his ranged attack, so this could make it easier for you to see. And before moving to the next section, I'd like to give a thank you to the Petcord Discord server for information about these plugins. Next up are the advanced strategies for Vardorvis. First, when Vardorvis uses the attack that shows the red shapes, you can right-click Vardorvis to pull up the menu. Then when the red appears on the screen, you can attack Vardorvis to get an extra hit. And secondly, if you stand on the middle tile in between the pillars, Vardorvis's vine attack can't reach you. And lastly, a perfect kill increases the loot by 50%, but that does not apply to unique drops. Alright, now let's go through a complete fight with Vardorvis, and after that I'll talk about gear and inventory. So to begin the fight, you click on Vardorvis to wake him. Then I run to one of the axe's tiles that I showed earlier, and I wait for an axe's attack. Then I move to the tile in between the pillars and continue attacking Vardorvis. The fight is pretty relaxed for a while, where the axes aren't going in my direction, but then an axe spawns below me. So for this, I run to the other tile, then I run back. That's a strategy that sort of skips the axes, no matter where they are. But I could have easily just gone in the other direction where there was no axe. But the benefit of going back and forth from these tiles is you don't have to think where the axes are going, and I can keep the boss stationary as well, making it easier to fight. After a bit, Vardorvis shoots a green projectile, so I turn on Protect from Ranged. Then Vardorvis moves and spawns a vine, but since I'm on the outer center tile, the vine can't reach me. Quickly after, Vardorvis shoots another green projectile, so I put on Protect Ranged. Then it's the red circles, so I quickly click on each of the splats to get out of that screen. Then the fight continues with more green ranged attacks, a red circles attack, and more axe dodging, and eventually the fight ends. Now let's talk about gear and inventory. And Vardorvis is a boss that's weak to slash attacks, so you should bring your best slash weapon and offensive gear. Here's an example minimum setup for Vardorvis, which consists of a zombie axe and some other offensive and defensive gear. You obviously don't need an infernal cape for the minimum setup, a fire cape will do just fine. In your inventory, you should bring a super combat, some prayer potions, some food, and a teleport out. You can bring a rune pouch for thralls, which can also be very effective at Vardorvis. The mid-tier setup includes a few gear upgrades with the Noxious Halberd and Burning Claws, as well as the Bandos Tassets and Ferocious Gloves. The maximum setup for Vardorvis is Oathplate Armor and Torva Armor, with the Soul Reaper Axe, the Scythe, and the Ancient Godsword. These setups cost over 2 bill, but it's a good reference point. And lastly, I'm going to talk briefly about the drops from Vardorvis. One Vardorvis kill is worth around 300k in loot, provided you get everything on the drop rate. It's a 1 in 136 chance to roll the unique drop table. On the screen are the exact drop rates for each of these. The most valuable drop is the Altor, which is worth around 180 mil. However, you have to roll the Altor 3 times before getting the drop. There's also the Pet, dropped at a rate of 1 in 3,000, and notably, the Blood Quartz is dropped at a rate of 1 in 204, which is used to upgrade the Ancient Scepter. Anyways, that was my Vardorvis guide for old school. If you missed anything, you can skip to any section with the detailed timestamps in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my second channel for more old school content. Thanks for watching.